Getting started with Excel filters. One of the most effective ways to tame a large, unruly dataset is by using filters. Essentially, filters give you the power to temporarily hide the noise, all that data you don't need right now, so you can focus entirely on the information that actually matters. Let's look at exactly how to get these running on your spreadsheet. There are a couple of paths you can take to switch this feature on. Your first option is heading up to the Home ribbon. If you look all the way over to the right in the Editing group, you'll see a drop-down labeled Sort and Filter. Give that a click and simply select Filter. If you're a fan of keeping your hands on the keyboard, I highly recommend memorizing the shortcut for this, which is the Control-Shift-L. As soon as you hit that button, you'll notice a subtle visual shift in your data. Small drop-down arrows appear in the bottom right corner of every single column header. It's also worth mentioning that you can activate this from the Data tab. In the Sort and Filter group there, you'll see a large Filter button. Since we just turned them on, that button will look highlighted or toggled on. If you ever want to turn the filters off completely, you just click that button again to remove the arrows. For now though, I'm going to leave mine on so we can see what they do. Applying your first filter. Now that those little drop-down arrows are visible, we can start using them to slice and dice our information. You can filter by just one specific column or layer them across several columns. Let's start with a simple example using a discount code column. When you click the drop-down arrow on the discount code header, you'll see a menu appear. The top section is always reserved for sorting options, but for this lesson, we are interested in the bottom half of the menu. You might notice the sorting options are grayed out depending on your current selection, but that's fine. Look at the list at the very bottom. Excel automatically scans that column and presents you with the list of every unique item found there. For instance, you might see P101, P102, and P103. Imagine for a moment that you are looking for P103 discount codes. You don't care about other codes like P104, P105, or P106 right now. They're just cluttering your view. To fix this, you can simply uncheck the boxes next to P103, leaving only P103 selected. When you click OK, the list shrinks immediately. Excel hides everything else, and you are left looking strictly at the P103 data. Recognizing when data is filtered. This next part is crucial because missing it is a classic rookie mistake. As soon as we applied that filter, two specific things changed on the screen to warn us that we aren't looking at the full picture. First, take a look at the row numbers on the far left. You'll see they have turned blue. Second, look back at that drop-down arrow in the column header. It is morphed from a standard arrow into a tiny filter icon, which looks like a small funnel. These indicators are your safety net. If someone emails you a spreadsheet and you don't notice these signs, you might assume you're looking at the complete dataset when you're actually only seeing a fraction of it. That can lead to some pretty embarrassing analysis errors. So always keep an eye out. If you see blue row numbers and a funnel icon, that column is actively filtering your data. If you want to get rid of that specific filter, you don't have to hit undo. Just click that funnel icon again and choose the option that says Clear Filter from Discount Code. Alternatively, you could check the Select All box at the bottom of the list and hit OK to bring everything back.
Layering multiple filters. The real power of this tool kicks in when you start to filter by more than one column at a time. Let's say we want to get more specific. We can go over to a product column and filter it so we are only looking at gaming and CPU items. You just uncheck everything else and hit OK. Now, let's drill down even further. Maybe we only care about sales that happened in the first quarter. We can go to our date or month column and filter to show only February and March. Once you click OK, you'll be looking at a very specific slice of data. You can easily tell which columns are driving this view because each of those headers, product and date, will have that little funnel icon displayed. Using text and number filters. Clicking checkboxes are great for short lists, but it can get tedious if you have hundreds of options. Excel offers a smarter way to handle this. If you click the drop-down on a text-based column like discount code, you'll see an option called Text Filters. This allows you to set logic rules. For example, if you choose equals, you can type in the word P105 and hit OK. Excel will instantly filter the list to show only rows where that column exactly matches the word P105. This logic applies to numbers as well, which is incredibly useful for financial data. If you click the drop-down on a price column, the option changes to number filters. Instead of ticking specific prices, you can choose a rule like greater than. If you type in 5,000 and click OK, the list instantly filters out any small transactions, leaving you with only the high-value sales over $5,000. By combining these different types of filters, you can really hone in on the exact results you need to see. Clearing filters and filtering by color. Eventually, you will want to reset your view. You could go through every single column and clear them one by one, but that takes forever. A much faster method is to go up to the Data ribbon. In the Sort and Filter group, there is a big button labeled Clear. Clicking that once will wipe every filter across the entire dataset, restoring your data to its original state. Finally, there is a handy feature for visual learners. If you have been using background colors to highlight certain rows, let's say you marked some bad sales in green, you can actually filter by that color. When you click the Filter dropdown on that column, you'll see an option for Filter by Color. Excel looks at the column to see what colors are currently being used. If you only have blue rows, it will show blue. If you had orange and green rows as well, it would list those too. You simply pick the color you want, in this case blue, and Excel hide everything else, showing you only the rows you highlighted. It's a great reminder that you aren't limited to just the values in the cells. You can organize your data by its formatting too.